So if you've ever tried to do a cold email outreach, maybe to land a client or to land partnerships, you know the biggest pain is not writing the email, it's the lead list. Getting a clean, organized list of real people with real email addresses without spending hours manually copying and pasting stuff into a spreadsheet. In today's video, I'll show you exactly how to build that list automatically using n8n and Google Sheets. Once you see this, you'll never go back to doing it manually again. So Sean here from Sean Teaches n8n. This is part 1 of my 4-part series where we build a full cold email system from scratch. By the end of this series, you'll have a workflow that finds leads, writes personalized emails using AI, sends it to them, follows up automatically, and even handles the replies. But today we're starting with the foundation, the lead list. So this is the sheet that we're going to end up with by the end of the video. It's just acting as our simple CRM with the columns first name, last name, company, job title, email, website, status, and date added. And we're going to build an n8n workflow that takes a CSV of leads, like the kind you'd export from a LinkedIn sales navigator or even just a manual list. It would validate it, clean it up, and load it into the sheet automatically. No copy and pasting, no manual data entry. You trigger it once and it handles everything. So before moving on, I just quickly want to say that we're keeping this video really simple on purpose. We're not doing any fancy scraping or any Apollo API stuff yet. That's all coming in part 2. We just have to get the foundations right, because if your lead list is messy, everything else breaks. The AI sends bad emails, the follow-ups don't go to the right people, it's just a complete mess. So we have to get this sorted first before we can move on efficiently. I'm going to leave the link to my Google Sheets in the description so you can play around with it and follow along with the tutorial. First things first, open up the Google Sheets and map out the columns exactly as I have them. Lowercase and underscores matters here because we're going to be referencing them in n8n later on. I'd also recommend saving the sheet ID from the URL and giving the sheet a name like leads or demo or something, because you'll need this later on in n8n. Now we need some leads to import. For this tutorial, I've put together a sample CSV of 3 fake leads, so you can download it in the link below so you can follow along. Okay, so I already have the workflow built, but we'll go through each step so you know what's going on. So the first, we have 2 sheets set up. The first one is where the unvalidated leads go, and then the second sheet is our clean CRM. This is where the valid leads end up with the status of new and the timestamp when the leads were imported. So this workflow connects the 2 sheets. It reads from the raw lead sheet, filters out any rows with missing emails or names, stamps them with metadata, and appends them to the CRM, all automatically. Okay, so our first step in the workflow is to add a Google Sheets node, and the operation would be get rows in sheet. So once you add this node, we're going to open it up. So first of all, you connect your credential. Your resource would be, you have 2 options, document or sheet within document. So we're going to click sheet within document. The operation is get rows, and you're going to choose the document from this. So we're going to do our cold email and our first sheet. So that is the first node up and running. So once we click execute step, you can see here that we have our 4 items outputted, and we also have Liam with an empty email. So keep an eye on that, and we'll get back to that later. And here we see that the status and date added is all empty because n8n will automatically fill this in for us. So then we come over and onto our Google Sheets, we add a filter node. So we're going to filter out the bad rows where you see Liam didn't add his email. So we want to filter him out of this workflow. So here we're going to add 2 conditions. Normally the default is going to be is equal to, and then you need to put in a value 2. But for us, we just want the email, so it's going to be string is not empty. Or it's going to ask us and or, and we're going to choose and. First name, again, it'll be is equal to, but we want to change it to it's not empty. So that is our filtering the bad rows. You can also come up here and just name your node, whatever you want it. So we're going to come out of here, and we're going to add the set node for our metadata. So we'll add this to our filter and we'll open this up here now. And here we see the mode, we have clicked manual mapping, and we need to add 2 fields to set. So our first field is our status, where we want to add in the new status to the CRM sheet. So we're going to hard code it into status as a string and new. Then for our second filter, and also note that you need to type these out exactly how they are in your sheet. If there's a space, it's going to ruin it, and it's going to create a new row itself, and it's going to make the sheet very messy for us. So make sure to type it exactly as it is in your sheet. The next, we're going to select our data added, string again, and then we'll put in our variable to add the timestamp for whatever time they fill out, or that we get that new lead, that it fills it out in the sheet. So it's going to add in the time that it currently would be at that stage. And down here, the include other input fields will be switched off. We want to toggle this on. Once we execute this step, we can see here in our output that it's filtered out Liam, and now we have the 3 valid leads that we want. So the next step is to add it to our second sheet, where we added in our headers for the row. So over here, we can just switch over to our sheet. We have nothing here, but we have all of our headings that need to be filled in. So n8n will automatically do this for us. So here you want to connect with the same credential. Our resource would be a sheet within the document. Our operation would be append row. We don't want to update or clear or create or anything else. It's append row. From the list, you select the sheet you want to transfer the valid leads to, and select your sheet again inside that document. And you're going to see it's going to be set up for you as map each column manually. So here we see all of our headings. But if you added something here, this is what would show up all the time. So we don't want this. We want it to add automatically. We want to map it automatically. So that's all you need to do in that node. So once we execute the step, we should see here the row number 2, 3, 4, and it's added in all of our data with our valid clients. And we can see here that the status has filled in and our date has been added. As you can see, we go back into our first sheet. We had Liam with no email, so it was invalid, and we had no status or date added. So we're going to come back over to where we had our blank sheet, and now we can see that it's filled it all in automatically for us. Okay, so that's it. You've just built the foundation of a full cold email system. A clean, automated lead list that you can scale as big as you want. So you're probably thinking, great, I have a spreadsheet, so what? But here's the thing, every single step in this series will be built on top of what you've just created. The AI personalization, the automated sending, and the follow-ups. Everything reads from this sheet. Get this step right and the rest is easy. So in part 2, we're going to connect this to an AI node, which will then write personalized opening lines to every single lead based on their company and job title. All automatic, no manual research or no copy and pasting. So if you'd like to see that video, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get notified whenever I upload. And also drop a comment if you have any problems with this workflow. I'll read them all and I'll help you debug it or with whatever problem that you have with it. I'll leave the workflow and the sample CSV linked below in the description. It's free to download and it's free to use. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is informational and I'll see you in the next one.